Welcome to the Creative Appliques channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're a subscriber, thank you for coming back and checking in to get some inspiration and confidence. If you are new to my channel, if you would kindly please consider subscribing. That way I know you like the content I'm posting and you find it of value. After you've subscribed, you can hit the bell to make sure you're notified by email when I upload new videos. So thank you so much for being here, and let's make your life creative. This video that you're going to watch now used to be a Facebook Live video, but I thought it had great value and content, so I wanted to share it with you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for being here. Hi guys, it's Dawn from Creative Appliques. I wanted to check in today and talk to you a little bit about the newest designs that we just listed. Back in September, we listed an embossed shape set to be used on anything with pile or loft or nap, anything like sherpa or terry cloth towels or fleece, velour, anything that's going to have a pile or a nap to it. We created these designs to be able to sew underneath your monogram letters. So when you would sew something on this, okay, and try to sew the letters, because the thickness of the pile is so high, what ends up happening is the letters get buried into this and you don't get to see them, and then you aren't able to see your gorgeous work. So we created these shapes called embossed, and they are thicker, they have more stitching in them, and they also are outlined with the satin stitching on them. It allows the for a much more refined finished look, and so you could sew it in the same color as the item you're sewing on. So if you have a gray towel, you can sew the shape in gray and then sew the monogram in a contrasting color that you would like, or you can simply sew the shape in the same color, different color to have a nice contrast, and so you can actually see the shape, and then sew the initials maybe in the same color as the item. Like if you have the gray towel, you could sew the embossed shape in navy or black, for example, and then you can sew the letters in the same shade of gray as the towel, as an example. One of the things that we just released, because we had such an overwhelming response, a positive response to these frames, we wanted to do something that was a little bit of a thinner stitch, so you actually see the item underneath it, see the colors of the item underneath it, but then you also are able to really have the fabric pressed down or tacked down to be able to see the letters, the monogram, or the name. So there's lots of different names for this type of stitching. There's nap down, there's loft down, there's pile drop, there's knock down. There's even some motif stitches out there, and these all allow for the high loft or nap of the item to be stitched down. So as in this example here, I did it in white thread so you can see the actual shape itself. And these are the ones that we just released that are not as dense of a stitching as the embossed ones. So these are called nap loft down shapes, and as we mentioned, they are used for anything with high loft or nap or pile. So one of the questions you may have is, do you use water-soluble stabilizer on this in order to hold it down? I did not. I did not use any water-soluble stabilizer on this at all. The one trick that I did do, and this is something that may help you too, is so if you're going to hoop the item in this direct like this, okay, and the stitches in the design go in this direction, okay? So one of the things that I did do before I sewed is I took this and I went at a 90-degree angle from the way it was stitching. So I pressed it up this way, or you can press it down this way. So I'm doing it as in a diagonal direction. And then that way it got all of the sherpa to lay down. And then when the stitching went this way, it really covered it very nicely. If you did it this way, you're going to be sewing kind of in line with the grain of the way you have the sherpa pressed down. So I don't use water-soluble stabilizer at all when I sew these shapes. The stitching itself covered all of this really nicely, but you can still see some of the item underneath it. And so here it is all completed with a monogram on top of it. So you can see this is it's done in brown. I did the shape. This is just a basic circle. I did the shape in brown, so you can see how nicely it flattened down. And then I did the monogram in a white on top of it. And so, as you can see, that really stands out nicely, but you don't have all of the sherpa, poking out in the middle of the letter and not having to, worry about that. One other thing you can do is you can also trim around here close. And so then that will get some of this stuff on the ends to also get out of the way. These new shapes that were released, they do not have a satin stitch on the outside of it, so it's just strictly the shape itself to allow you to be able to see some of the fabric underneath it, but have it all tacked down. So we released 10 different shapes, and all of them come in multiple sizes. The circle, the square, the two different rounded squares, the octagon, the scallop, and the diamond. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here to make sure I don't forget any of them. All 7 of those come in 15 different sizes, starting at 1 inch. So if you want to use this on a washcloth, for example, to do just a single initial, we've got the 1 inch size there, and they go all the way up to 8 inches. And then we have 2 different ovals. The one oval that's more rounded comes in 16 different sizes, and then the flatter one that is more for like a name comes in 10 different sizes. And then we have a rectangle that comes in 8 sizes. So I think that that's plenty of different shapes and sizes that will work with all your different types of monograms. If you have any comments or questions about this, let me know and I will answer them for you. What else? Just making sure I got everything covered here. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please leave some comments for me and let me know what you would like to have me answer and help you with. And I hope you love these new shapes. They will last you for a really long time, and they'll be awesome for all of your items with pile. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great one.